Jay.
And we're going to do some more.
We're going to do some yours?
Yes.
Your ladies first?
I'm going to be first.
Okay.
And what we're going to be.
The world is yours.
I appreciate that. So, here. Are y'all recording this? This is the part that you edit out when I said Recently, I had an epiphany, a sudden manifestation of the essence of the meaning of being short. So I've decided I'm drinking milk in the blue milk carton, and written on the outside of it, it says silk. From here on out, I am a ride and die chick. I will no longer be depressed. I'll be determined, or better yet, taller, and I'll exist in a new world of order, where the term holding me down will be replaced with holding me up. My cup running over, and the chip that you have on your shoulder, I'm knocking it off. And what? You ain't gonna do nothing. Isn't that what you said I was? Or was it nothing I was supposed to be? Title me, baby mama in the projects, getting food stamps and welfare checks. But now, I'm doing things that you wouldn't even believe. Instead of popping my collar, I'm popping my whole sleeve. Honey, please. You wish you would be me. When you were a problem starter, looking at me through your eyes, no wonder I kept getting shorter. But now, I'm a believer, an overachiever, sister with skills, and still rocking 3-inch heels. And I would say that old cliche, I wish you could see me now. But in real life, I'm not even looking in your direction. I'm looking in the mirror at a beautiful God-made reflection, putting one foot in front of the other. So from now on, call me lover of life, future mother, future wife, doing everything through Christ that gives me strength. Philippians 4:13, call me queen, beautiful human being. I said, I'm drinking milk now. I heard it does the body good. I did everything impossible you had me thinking I never could. I've decided to no longer define myself with another person's definition. I said, I've decided to no longer define myself with another person's definition. I had an epiphany, y'all, of my own existence. Challenge. I'm sorry. Your turn. I'm going to stand right here and stare at you.
You understand? You know, that's what they do on the news, right? Like,
yeah,
one of those reporters is talking, the other one is...
Yeah.
It's like a...
No, we don't look at each other.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what they do on the news, right?
Then you know what happens? Then I look like this and you look like that. Like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, we're going to get this together for y'all next time.
At some point. Oh. How y'all doing?
All right.
Okay. Any Michael Jackson fans? Yeah. I'm not going to sing a Michael Jackson song. That's not what's going to happen. It'd be a bad thing. Me.
No.
Born a guardian angel, messenger of the all, gift giver of sacrifice, him came in song to lay down him life on the altar of artificial light, camera, action. When we had you, we treated you bad, wrong, for years. But since you went away, we sit around with our heads hanging down and we wonder, who's loving you like the stage? We snatched from beneath your dancing feet after 4 decades you gave of yourself till it changed the color of your flesh. I saw you fade to ambiguity, the androgynous screamer, walk in the moon like Armstrong in giant leaps for mankind. Didn't realize the powers you possessed or the powers that possessed you. In superstar dominion, you were chained to the throne, told to battle your demons while everyone watched and applauded. You went nowhere without an audience. I can't imagine being that, being this, introverted without the benefit of privacy. Everyone's eyes on me like knives drawn to cut away pieces of my clothes, my hair, my sanity. Pop culture is a slave trade, and even its king was nothing but a commodity in the overseer's eyes to be sold and traded and sold and traded, paraded across stages and billboards naked, so you cupped your genitals. Thrusted your hips in the direction of your abusers. You started making the auction block look cool to people the world over, but at some point I just know. You realized the performance industrial complex had perverted your dreams by refusing your reality, so you broke boundaries and fused your dreams with reality. Your videos were the inside-out version of your soul, and miniature made-for-TV movies. You would hold our attention and remold your position in hopes that if the limelight stayed on you, it couldn't be used to poison other children like the ones you invited to Neverland. When you played the perpetual role of Peter Pan, trying to fly back to buy back the childhood you never had. You financed it all with the same type of song and dance that healed the world, starting with the man in the mirror who just wanted to be left alone to remember the time before there was blood on the dance floor dripping from your feet and your hands, the smooth criminal. Crucified beside Yahshua, guilty of being too eccentric, guilty of being too talented, guilty of being too innocent. We labeled you the greatest entertainer because labels are in our nature, but labels often shield us from the truth. And the truth is, you made millions, making millions. See the best parts of themselves, the suffering parts of each other, and the world stood together as one. But when we had you, we treated you bad, wrong, for years. But since you went away, we sit around with our heads hanging down and we wonder, who's loving you like the stage?
Everybody repeat after me. Be positive. Be positive. No, everybody. Everybody.
Okay.
Be positive.
Be positive.
That was everybody. You're negative.
You're negative.
I said word. I'm trying to figure. I have 2 different poems that's about this. I'm trying to figure out which one I do. This is like sign language, like this is for me. Okay. Which one should I do?
They say.
Okay.
Yeah.
They say joy comes in the morning time. That's why I never complained when he came home at 5 a.m. Never accused him of committing the sin of adultery. Didn't want this to be my story, but it is. It makes my skin crawl to share it aloud in front of a crowd. I'm hoping that I don't see myself in any of you. It's true. There's a thin line between hate and love, and I've spent countless nights praying to God above to save me. And now I'm pregnant with his baby. And he's long gone, but I can still hear his voice in bad dreams, can still hear myself scream, can hear him calling me queen, but then the B word would follow. Some stories are hard to swallow, and I wish I could throw this one back up. They say if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. I wonder if anyone heard me fall. They say all men are dogs. That's why I never complained when he bit me. Didn't tell one person that he tossed me against the tree. You see, Christ loves unconditionally, and I was trying to be like Christ. I knew he'd be coming home like a thief in the night, so I waited. Anticipated the sound of his footsteps. This time I turned up the music so no one could hear him call for help, and I know this sounds premeditated. I got all of my thoughts situated. I wanted my plan to go as planned. They say a woman is no match for a man, not in fist fights, but it wasn't going to be like that tonight, because tonight I was going to win. I wasn't going to waste words asking him where he had been, because I had been sitting there with my test results in my hands. I had had them for days. Positive for pregnancy, positive for 80s. I pulled up the shades, I thought I heard his car. He hadn't had to explain his late nights thus far, and I'm sure he thought tonight wouldn't be any different. I ran to the kitchen when I heard his key in the lock. Looked at the clock. 5 a.m., they say joy comes in the morning time. But I know for a fact that she came just before the sunrise, because I could still see the guilt in his eyes, and just then I knew that he knew that I knew no one can protect your body but you.
Very nice.
They say my poetry too deep to entertain. I reject them into aim like a marksman. Pick a target, take position, hit your brain 500 yards away running. They say I should scale it back. The only thing I heard was dumb it down, man. I'm down for whatever. Tactical advance makes my artistry advance. Playing stupid is just stupid. There's no big enough advance you can pay me. I mean, you gotta pay me what I'm worth. But my caliber of work wouldn't lessen if you paid me every dollar on earth. Money is to all things, but it asks no questions. It just goes where it's sent. Without the slightest attachment to how it's earned or spent, money was made to travel. Its nomadic relationship with stagnant minds are short-lasting for lack of understanding. The love of money is evil's root. And love evolves into worship. You could make money your God, it still won't give a cent, no matter what you expect in exchange for devotion given to dead presidents. People become what they love most. Loving a dead thing is the swiftest way to die. Don't take my word for it. Simply look into a greedy person's eyes. See the dollar signs hanging like curtains over the windows of that soul, blindly encouraged to drive knives deep into the backs of enemies and kinfolk. Beware. We don't have to remain poor. We just have to remain aware. Money has no value beyond what we give it. Here we are thinking the dollar is almighty when through us it vicariously earns its living. Men empty gun clips to fill up money clips because it's all about the Benjamins keeping their mouths closed while we go at each other's throats to achieve that peace of stability. We think big bank accounts offer a greater sense of self and happiness, but misery loves company. Companies love money. So any financial asset beyond that which you need to survive comfortably usually keeps you in the company of miserable people. And the evils that men do all in here, where greed and fear are royalty, people play the peasant role so afraid there's not enough. We harbor any surplus, make nightmares come true. Demons come into the world via our ideas of the world with all the anger. We inspire a manifestation of all the dangers, looking upon our divine family like they are all just strangers with strange accents from strange continents with strange beliefs and strange foods to eat. So we use our money to keep them as far away from the familiar as possible, unless they are willing to convert to our speech and our doctrine, because everyone knows God is American and Christian. I mean Muslim and Egyptian. I mean Chinese and Buddhist. I mean Indian and Hindu. I mean Palestinian and Hebrew. I mean money has us convinced that we actually own some of this. Like the right to God. So I write to God and he answers and she answers and they answer and we answer. Money may answer all things, but it asks no questions because it has no soul. It has no intelligence. It doesn't care how it's earned. It doesn't care how it's spent. Money takes on the life of whomever handles it. So choose wisely. Choose. What manner of answers shall your money give birth to? I guess that depends on the questions you ask. They say my poetry too deep to entertain. I reject them into aim like a marksman. Pick a target, take position, hit your brain 500 yards away running. They say I should scale it back. The only thing I heard was dumb it down, man. I'm down for whatever. Tactical advance makes my artistry advance. Playing stupid is just stupid. There's no big enough advance you can pay me. I mean, you gotta pay me, but I'm worth. But my caliber of work wouldn't lessen if you paid me every dollar on earth.
Booyaka, booyaka! Booyaka!
If the truth hurts, I want the words that I speak to smack you on the cheek as hard as a pimp. And before I attempt to move, my tongue will transform into a cutting instrument consisting of a blade attached to a handle, a knife that you can't dismantle. And you will feel like a slave to my words that causes you to be afraid to flee. And the truth of my tongue will cause you to fall to one knee. And you will begin to weep. And the pain that causes the truth to hurt and you to cry, my tongue will cause physical damage to the manifestation of the truth hurting, and it will come alive. And while you're weakened by your position, I will just stand there while we both utter a prayer that the good things that you dream about become your reality, and that the man or the woman or the career or the family that only exists in your dreams are no longer a fallacy. And I'll take my index finger dipped into anointing oil and form a cross on your forehead. And I'll pour over your head, prayed over, God-made H2O, until you know the truth is not supposed to hurt. And the lie that it does will become red dirt. And I'll grab your hand and you and I will stand. And you will understand that the ground that you walk on is holy ground. And what you have found is the truth. And I'll create a new millennium commandment that says, thou shalt not label your goals a dream. And my voice will form an earthquake. And I'll command all the dreamers of success to fall awake, shaking you into existence, shaking you into redemption, causing you to be Genesis 1:3, light shining so brightly that a blind man can see, because you don't need vision to see spirits. And our prayers will be so loud the entire world will hear it, and our words together will smell of sweet nectar. And you'll answer the phone on the first ring, even if you look at the caller ID and realize that it is the bill collectors, because you will no longer be afraid, and fear of getting hurt will be left in past days. Fear is not of God, and it won't seem hard to hear what is true. And you'll not only want to know the truth, you want to hear it too. The truth cannot cause you spiritual damage, and there is nothing that you, your prayers, and God can't handle. Words have power, and you can cause them to be godly just by the words that you speak. But you can't speak spiritually if you are spiritually asleep. Oh, ye children of God, for your eternal life's sake, close your eyes, open your spirits, and fall away.
Before I get into this last poem, thank you all very much for being here. I wish you would have got to see all of the rest of the poets. I'm sure they did a fantastic job, but traffic was Now, are you interpreting?
Yes.
Okay. She's currently in school for taking American Sign Language. We also are the co-founders of the National Underground Spoken Word Poetry Awards, or NUSPA. If you'd like some more information about it, please visit nuspa.us, that's NUSPA.us, or just ask one of us after the show. And with that being said, last poem, this is dedicated to every poet who faces the struggle that poets face. I don't even have to go through what it is. Like, if you're a poet, this will just make sense. Though it can apply in any avenue of life, it was a poet that inspired it. So, here we go. When Salam said, this, the most spiritual art, what I heard was, spoken word is the art of getting to know God for a living. But to make a living, getting to know life is a dangerously small circle with the deadliest price. For no one who loves you initially wants to believe that you would do nothing with your talent and or degrees other than stand in front of crowds and speak. In rhythms, performing exorcisms with lyricism, because there ain't no money in the salvation business of self and kind. Especially when the salvation rhymes while holding mirrors up to the eyes of anyone looking in its direction, plus prophets don't get to profit off their own lives. And usually aren't considered prophets until they die, for the very reasons they tried to explain they were alive. Once the casket's closed and the urns are disposed of, the conspirators gather round to show the dead prophet love, because the prophet is in reminiscing over what was once considered to be the bane of one's existence. Remember, Jesus was slain by members of his own religion. Christianity was not yet existent, though parts of its evolution give his life but one dimension. They say he was totally divine and totally human, preaching the gospel in casual conversations with prostitutes, transmuting water into wine. I'm sure he drank some too, because in Hebrew celebrations, that's what they sometimes do. Doesn't make them any less divine, does make them more approachable, because the way that the Almighty is usually portrayed, getting closer to the Most High, puts most right feet in the grave. But a soul of Jesus' stature was so alive and so brave that the beaches where we're going to go on vacation, he would go just to walk on the waves. But the people claiming to have the most faith nowadays be the most afraid. How you believe in God scared? Of creations that live in submission to divine will. How you believe in God scared when dominion over creation was one of the first divine gifts? And God said you could have whatever you like way before T.I. did. But I understand. When dealing with the word, it's all about letter placement. See, I realized as I was writing these lines that the same letters used to spell scared can be rearranged to spell sacred. And in this matrix, you are one or the other. You can't be both. Well, technically you could, but it wouldn't be conducive to growth. And no, faith does not mean life presents itself just as you hope. Faith means however life presents itself, you will be able to cope with a smile on your soul like, don't I make this look easy? Don't my stare look like it's healing? Don't my laughter remind you of children? Don't my posture look like I'm always chilling? We be going through the same drama, but don't I always look different? That's just the result of getting to know life for a living. The outside is difficult still. The inside, however, is just still. For stability within the motions of life is God's will. Stability within the motions of peace, be still. Peace, be still. But even if it's not, I will still be. Peace.